Okay. Okay, we're live. Have you all read the news that Will posted on Kakao Talk?
No.
No, okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. So have you heard about the news on the Silicon Valley Bank?
Yes.
Yes.
How about you, John? Do you know about the Silicon Valley Bank?
No.
Okay, good. Today's news video is actually from ABC. It's ABC is the ABC that I'm talking about is not the American Broadcasting Company, I think. I think that's the abbreviation for that, but it's not that. It's Australia. So the reason why I did not choose an American news is because they have so many news related on this. So it's very small bits in details. So I just wanted you to, I didn't want to get too deep into it, but I just wanted you to at least know about this Silicon Valley Bank bankruptcy and how it's okay, so we'll have a look at the video. We'll have a look at the script, and then we'll talk about it. Okay?
Okay.
Just a minute. And if we have time, we'll watch one more news. This one, I do not have a script. It's just, I found it very interesting, so I just wanted to share it with you. Just a minute. Okay, here we go.
Dark and shuttered, Silicon Valley Bank is no longer open for business.
I came out to talk to the bank, just got in line with a lot of other founders and, and CEOs, just to find out what was happening and then also the options we've got.
Customers will be able to withdraw up to $250,000 of government-insured funds on Monday, but many have deposited far more.
A little nerve-wracking when it comes down to how you keep operating your company.
At Silicon Valley Bank, we deal in innovation.
The tech-heavy lender unravelled in just days after it started emergency moves to shore up its books. Customers rushed to withdraw funds. Then the regulators stepped in. Markets closed down on a jittery Wall Street.
There are recent developments that concern a few banks that I'm monitoring very carefully.
The tech sector has boomed over recent years with easy access to cheap money. But as the US central bank has dramatically hiked interest rates over the past year, many of those companies have seen their valuations collapse.
Hey folks.
But while the tech sector might be feeling the heat, the president lauded a report showing the broader economy continues to produce jobs.
Last month, the unemployment rate remained near the lowest level in 50 years. 50 years.
Our banking system is in a fundamentally different place than it was, a decade ago, and that the reforms that were put into place back then really provide the kind of resilience that we'd like to see.
The resilience of the economy will be tested further, the Federal Reserve likely to hike interest rates again in less than 2 weeks' time. Carrington Clark, ABC News, California.
Yes, it was quite simple, wasn't it? So just for John's sake, I'll just explain what happened. So last week, a bank, as from the name of the bank itself, a bank located in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley, which name is Silicon Valley Bank, had a bank run. So a bank run is when depositors panic and they all at once they try to withdraw money from the bank. And because of that, the bank went bankrupt. And as it is mentioned in the news article, the Federal Reserve has stepped in, the regulators, and they have closed the bank, opened a new bank, and they will be giving, so the deposit holders can withdraw up to $250,000, which is approximately about 3억 2천만 원 per person, for depositor, I guess, which is actually about 10 times more than what's insured for us in Korea, right? Because in Korea, it's only 30 million won, right? Is it higher? 예금자 보호가
It is 5천만 원.
5천만
그렇죠.
원.
5천만 원.
Oh, okay, 50 million won. Okay. So yeah, maybe I still remember very old news, old info. Anyway, so and I think Will posted a news that said HSBC has taken over or rescues Silicon Valley Bank, right? Yeah. But and the reason for the decline in the bank is mainly due to the increase of interest rates by the Feds, and which has caused instability in the liabilities that were held by the bank. Yeah. So, do you think something like this would happen in Korea? It did happen, I think, during IMF, right?
Mm-hmm.
And during the Asian
Mm-hmm.
economy crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think banks like Hanyul was, and Jail Bank, they were all bankrupt, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not bankrupt. Are you referring to SVB or what happened during the late 1990s?
Well, any bank in Korea in mortgages.
Oh, you mean the banks in Korea?
Yeah.
Okay.
They collapsed, but there was no bank run at all.
Yeah. There was no bank run. Thank you. And I remember seeing a news last year about, or was it early this year in China? The party, yes, the Communist Party, the regulators, they
Right,
just
right.
stopped a bank from going bankrupt. So they blocked all withdrawals from the bank, right? I think that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's quite different how these two governments react to very, maybe not very similar, but in a way similar situations.
Mm-hmm.
So today's news, I don't know. I thought it would be good to, I mean, at least most of you knew about this, but for those who didn't know anything about it, I thought it would be good to know because it's showing up at all the US news. So there's so many news articles on this. So just to keep pace with how things are going in the US, I thought it would be good to know about this. So that's why I selected this today. Yes. And one last thing, there's quite some expressions that I think would be very good to know. So wait a minute, where is it? I will share the link to the script on KakaoTalk. So go and have a look. And if you have the time and if you have the will, try and watch the video again or any other video that is related with this incident. Especially if you don't have much background knowledge in finance or the banking sector, I think it's worthwhile watching, just so that you get to know about them. Like words like books. 회계장부라는 뜻이 있어요. 그냥 책이라는 표현이긴 한데, 말이긴 한데, 그냥 회계장부라는 또 표현도 따로 있기 때문에. Or shore up, hike. Someone, was it Amber? Was it Amber? Or someone mentioned about hiking last week, I think. I don't remember. It was one of our female members. I don't remember exactly who it was.
Hiking versus climbing?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but hike also has the meaning of 대폭 인상, so sudden increase. Yes.
Oh,
So I think it's, and shuttered. Shuttered means 셔터가 내려진. So we always use we use the word shutter a lot, right? 셔터라는 표현 많이 쓰잖아요, 저희가.
네.
네. 근데 shuttered라는 표현이 나오거든요. 그래서 so I really recommend that you go and have a read of the script and some of the expressions here. It's quite good. Okay. Does anyone have anything to share about SVB? If you have anything that you'd like to let us know.
I was really surprised because it have a negative impact in the credit market and the overall market. But $1 exchange rate stabilized even though this kind of effect. So I think it is really different with subprime or the so it is the impact is limited, I think, and the market think it is not the severe risk like before.
Maybe it's so. I had a look at Silicon Valley Bank. So in the US, it was ranked 16th in size. But I think it's mainly because the industry that it was doing business with is mainly the tech sector. Maybe that's the reason why.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So unlike Lehman Brothers or who was it at that time, many of the big investment banks during the subprime mortgage loan crisis were involved, whereas now, for this instance, Silicon Valley Bank it has a very narrow, limited clientele. So I guess it's affecting us less. Yes, that's my view. Yeah, yeah. But if you ask me about these finance sector information, I really don't know that much myself. I mean, I did some reading before coming in, so that's why I can say this. But overall, I don't know that much either. Maybe Ike would have a better understanding of the finance sector than me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Does anyone know who this is? Probably Will knows. So does anyone, Ike, do you know Goonies? Goonies, the movie.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. And you also probably remember Indiana Jones.
Sure.
Yes. This person here, this Asian, his name is Ki Hoi Kwan. And he won the Oscar this year for Best Supporting Actor in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And if you've ever watched the movie Goonies, or if you've watched Indiana Jones, and I forgot the name of, yeah, can't remember the full name, but there was an Asian kid who was in those movies. So yeah. Yeah. So I was very surprised to see him. Wait a minute. Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh is, yeah, she had nothing to do with him. Wait a minute. Remember this kid? Do you remember this kid? Anyone? Maybe not Sona and John. Not Ike, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in Indiana Jones. And he was in Goonies as well. So this boy became him. And he won an Oscar this year. Yes. And
진짜 super cute.
yes, he was so cute, yes, at that time. Yeah. I forgot what he was called at that time in that movie. Anyway. Yeah. So some facts. Oh, and this is actually not the video that I was planning to show you today. So is that you, John?
Jika menghitung makan waktu lama,
sorry, it's
gunakan.
It's Bahasa Indonesian. It's Indonesian language.
Do you celebrate Valentine's Day?
Okay, so we'll just watch another news. About a couple of months ago, I think, I showed members news on NASA's experimental spaceship that collided with an asteroid. 그러니까 한두 달 전에 제가 여기 참가하신 분들에게 그 나사가 그 뭐라고 해야 되죠? 홍성하고 충돌하기 위해서 쏘아올린 우주선이 있었어요. 그거에 대한 거를 한번 뉴스를 봤었는데 그 당시에 그거를 하는 이유가 이렇게 부딪혔을 때 정말로 이 이동하는 방향을 이탈하게 할 수 있느냐 없느냐 그거를 실험하기 위한 거였거든요. And at that time they mentioned that there's no threat, imminent threat or immediate threat, no asteroid coming to Earth. But now it seems there is likely one that's coming toward Earth. So just wanted to share that with you.
Stage here, well, you might want to circle that day in 2046 because NASA's Planetary Defense Office is tracking a new asteroid that has a very small chance of hitting Earth in 23 years. Joining me now is David Farnocchia. He's a navigation engineer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. David, thank you so much for joining us. And I'd love to start by just asking you about this newly discovered asteroid. The name of this asteroid is 2023 DW. Based on your experience and expertise, how much of a danger does this pose to planet Earth?
No, this object is not particularly discovered on February 26th. And at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, in particular at the Center for Near-Earth Object Studies, we keep track of those, and whenever there is a new discovery, we map the trajectory for the next 100 years and check whether there is even a remote possibility for an impact. In most cases, we find that the impact is not possible. We can rule that out very quickly. In this case, we cannot do that yet. We need more data to get to that point, but we have a small, very small, 0.2% impact probability for 2046. I always like to put things in another way. There is a 99.8% probability that the object is not going to reach the Earth.
Well, that's great to hear. But, you know, anytime an asteroid is at least on some target with some potential of hitting Earth, it makes Earthlings take note. This asteroid is about 50 meters across, about the size of an Olympic swimming pool. Why was it only discovered in February? Because I know this is a concern that NASA has about asteroids being perhaps detected later than they would like.
Yeah, so this object is only 50 meters. It means that it really needs to come close enough to Earth for us to pick it up. And we had to wait until last February to have the first good chance of discovering it. But NASA is really tasked with discovering more than 90% of the objects, 140 meters or greater, because those are the ones that could cause significant damage. This one is fairly small, and it's a side benefit of our search for asteroids. And the fact that we could discover an object this small with a small impact probability in 2046, it's like more than 20 years of lead time. That's a pretty good sign of what NASA can do in discovering objects. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so I understand. I just want to reiterate, very, very, very slim chance that this does hit Earth. But let's just say by some chance it did. What kind of damage would an asteroid of this size do, 50 meters across?
Well, I think a good analog is the Tunguska impactor that happened in 1908. That was an impact over Russia, and that flattened trees over 2,000 square kilometers. So that's the kind of analog. But again, as you said, the probability is really small. As soon as we get new data, we're going to be able to refine the orbital calculations and update the hazard assessment. And chances are we're going to be able to rule out this possibility.
David, really quick, one more question for you. NASA's big spacecraft, the DART spacecraft that hit that asteroid and successfully hit it off course, off its orbit earlier, or I guess in November of last year, the first planetary defense test mission. Could that type of technology be used to push an asteroid like this?
Absolutely. That's the very reason why we flew that mission. We wanted to see and prove that we had the capability of moving an asteroid, of course, in case we needed to do that. And that mission was a spectacular success. It was such a beautiful bullseye.
One of my favorite space stories of the year. Davide for Nokia, I hope I did not butcher your name too much. Thank you so much for sharing all of your expertise and talking asteroids with me.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. So yeah, there's very small possibility, but still.
Hai designer,
I thought
udah
it
tahu
was
kohon?
quite fun news, so I thought I'd share it with you. Anybody interested in astronomy? No one? 천체학 쪽에 관심 있으신 분이 없나요, 혹시?
전 아닌 것 같아요.
Okay. Yeah. There was it from last year or the year before? There was a movie called Don't Look Up with Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio. And it was about an asteroid coming toward Earth. If you're interested, go and have a look watch that movie. Or if you're interested they mentioned about DART. 다트에 대해서 얘기 잠깐 나왔었거든요, 뉴스에서. Yeah. So last year, as I told you, NASA flew a spaceship to collide with an asteroid to alter its direction. So if you're interested to know more about this, I have some material from that time, so I can share that with you as well if you want. So yeah, I thought I didn't want to go too serious today. Being Monday, everybody not enjoying their first day at work. The start of the week. Yes. Sona and John especially, they were telling me that they had not a horrible day, but a very busy day. Yes. So yeah, something good to laugh at. Okay. So Sona, John, Aiki, anything you'd like to talk further?
Actually, I have no idea now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Me too, kind of. Okay, so it's Monday. I hope you get to try to enjoy the rest of the week. I know you still have a lot of work to do, but yeah, I think it's better to be optimistic rather than being pessimistic. So yeah. So have a good week. I will be here on Saturday, I think. Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. So enjoy your week. Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.